Welcome back to the channel. I'm Octane, and today we take a look at the new deck for the Earth Slayer event, which starts later on this afternoon. The deck is an Arcane Killer deck. I'm going to jump right in and we're going to have a look at the cards. So this week deck, I can craft the deck 84 coins. However, I'm not really feeling the deck, so I'm going to hold off on crafting this deck. I'm going to save my coins. I'm gonna actually wait to see if the deck is any good first, because personally I don't think it's a brilliant deck. I think it's okay, but I don't think it's absolutely brilliant. So what we're gonna look at is the battle skill. So the battle skill for this deck, or this card, which is the ultimate form, Royal Rabbits, will deal double the store damage of this era's strongest attack this battle to one enemy. Increases Earth Slayer attack by 50% and resist 10% of damage taken from the enemy's attack for 3 turns. So resist it's a nice skill if you can actually stack it to a certain amount where the damage taken is either 0 or really low. It can be a really useful skill, especially in GVG. However, 10% is not gonna really be that significant. You won't notice the reduction of the damage, unlike a previous deck that we had that basically made you invulnerable to damage. They're not going to do that ever again because they don't want it to be invulnerable. They can actually resist a certain amount of the damage, however they want your deck to actually take damage, and that's the reason why it's only 10%. 50% attack is not going to be that much because we've actually got cards out there that can increase your attack way more than this. You've got the Jailers, you've got so many other cards out there. We're going to speak about a few of these cards when we're finished. So let's take a look at the 3 passive that this card has actually got. The first passive creates 4 Earth Power Gems 6s at the start of each turn. So on the first turn, you're actually going to generate these 4 Power Gem 6s, which is okay. The second passive is where you store your largest attack that's made. It's actually copied and it's doubled, so you deal double the amount of damage this card dealt. The highest amount of damage that this card has dealt, it will actually take that, it will copy and store it and actually deal it every single turn when you activate your damage. The reason why I'm thinking every single turn is because the deck that this originally came from had a 1 turn cooldown. However, this one has got a 3 turn cooldown. So it's every 3 turns you're able to deal that stored damage. The reason why it's a Slayer event, they don't want you to be able to deal massive amount of damage every single turn. So it's a 3 turn cooldown, which is part of the reason why I don't really love this deck. The battle skill is okay, but it's not brilliant. The 3 turn cooldown is what done it for me. The 3 turn cooldown, I believe 2 turn cooldown would be a bit better. However, it's a 3 turn cooldown, so it doesn't really work for me. So that's the reason why I don't want to craft the deck. The last passive, whenever a hero reduces your damage, that's a damage resist, or makes you invulnerable. So that is basically make you invulnerable to damage. It will create an extra 3 Earth Power Gem 6s. So this is the skill that's actually going to create multiple power gems for you. So if you've got 4 cards on the board that can actually resist damage, each time you activate their battle skill, this passive will create 3 Earth Power Gem 6s. If you've got 5 cards on board that does that particular has got that particular skill, you activate it, you can create 15 extra Power Gem 6s with this passive. However, you're not really going to run a deck that's got only cards that resist or makes you invulnerable. So I can see you creating relatively far less Power Gems than you possibly could create. Probably 2 other cards alongside your ultimate form having this skill, so you probably will be creating extra 9 Power Gems from this passive. I mean, the ultra rare's got the same passive, so 9 from your ultimate form, 9 from your ultra rare, along with the 4 from your ultimate form. That will give you 22 power gems on the board. This card dispels chaos. That's something that you want to dispel, because this card creates all its power gems passively. So you have to dispel chaos. You don't want to be hit by chaos, else it's going to be exactly what it is. It's going to be chaos. Your Master Collection card, Princess Lepede. This card will increase Earthsley attack by 50%, and it will resist 10% of damage taken from enemies attack for 3 turns. So for 3 turns you've got that skill on board. I'm not sure if, because I think it's every time you activate the skill, not if the skill is actually passive, because it's a passive generation over 3 turns. So the first turn you'll actually activate the card. However, the second turn it's actually already there passively, so I don't think you will create the extra power gems on turn begin. I think only when you activate the battle skill, this battle skill, the passive for the ultimate form will create those extra 3 power gems. So I don't think you're going to create those power gems every single turn. It's only on activation. The passive on this one, it creates 4 power gem 6s at the start of each turn. So this card only creates 4 power gem 6s. So you can see where it's falling down for me that much more, because this is a Master Collection card. The least I would expect Master Collection card to actually create is 6 power gems, not 4. This one only creates 4. So if you've got 2 Master Collection cards on the board, you're only creating 8 power gems with 2 cards that meant to be the top cards within the deck. So I'm not liking that. It's got Slumber. Now Slumber is another one you want to dispel. This one will wreak havoc on your passive ability, and this deck is not unstoppable. It is actually stoppable. So you want to dispel Slumber. You have to get rid of Slumber, because I think almost all the cards on the deck create power gems passively. The only card that doesn't create gems passively is your support card. This is your ultra rare Glade Guardian. So Lago Glade Guardian deals double the stored damage of this hero's strongest attack this battle to 1 enemy. 3 turn cooldown again. It's got 2 passive. It's got this hero restores the largest attack, so that's where you store your attack with this passive, and you deal it on the next turn when you activate your battle skill. So the next passive is where we're going to generate more power gems. So whenever a hero reduces damage taken or makes you invulnerable, it creates 3 power gem 6s. Again, if you're hit by Slumber, this will not activate. So you want to get rid of Slumber. Okay, this one won't be affected by Chaos, because Chaos clears the board before you actually activate any skills. It will only affect the cards that creates power gem at the start of every turn. That's a Master Collection card and your ultimate form. So you lose those power gems that you've created before you actually get into the next turn. This one, as I said, when you activate this battle skill of your the battle skill of your Master Collection card or your ultra rare ultimate form, this passive will activate. So if you've got 3 Master Collection card, 1 ultra rare, 1 ultimate form on board, your ultimate form alongside those 3 Master Collection card will actually cause this passive to create 4 3s. So each one will cause it to create 3. So it's 4 3s, 12. So extra 12 power gem 6s, along with your ultimate form. If you've got the same combination, you'll create 12 with that as well, plus the ones created from your passive skill. So I think that's 4 for each Master Collection card. True Master Collection card, that's an extra 12. So the street 12's 36, so you've got a full board of power gem. It's gonna crush. You will get power gem, probably 7s or 8s, not really sure what you would get, but can't really see that combination being really powerful. This one dispels dodge. Dodge is not too bad, but it would be better if you can dispel all the buffs and the debuffs. So dodge is a buff on the boss. Let's take a look at the event card. So the event card for this week, which is Meadow Champion, increases Earthslayer attack by 20%. I mean, it's not 100, it's not 200. 20% is small, but to see an event card actually boosting the attack of all cards on the deck is really nice. That is really nice. It also resists 5% of damage taken from enemy's attack for 3 turns. It's got a 3-turn cooldown. It creates 3 power gem 4s at the start of each turn. So this is something nice. This is something that you can actually add to the current deck that will actually aid your deck, because it resists, which causes the passive of your ultra rare and your ultimate form to actually create 3 extra power gems. So this is quite nice. So with this card, you're gonna onboard with your ultra rare and your ultimate form, you're gonna create an extra 6 power gems. Plus it creates 3 as well. It's not power gem 6, but it's okay. This card is actually okay. I really like this card. It's not powerful, but it's usable. So your support card is the same old. It creates 10 Earth power gems and it heals passively. Nothing to write home about, nothing to actually go in depth and start dissecting and speak about. It's just something it's just there. That's all it is. It's just there. It's just an addition. Not really much value apart from getting dust, but it's there. That is your support card for this week. What do I think of the deck? Okay, my verdict on the deck. This deck can be powerful with the right combination. Not the deck itself, but the Master Collection card alongside. Probably you'll have to sacrifice one of the cards. Which one do you sacrifice? Do you sacrifice the Ultra Rare or the Master Collection card? Personally, for me, because I'm not gonna be able, if I had the deck, to field a lot of cards that will actually give me loads of gem production, boost, and invulnerability to benefit from the passive of the ultimate form and the ultra rare, I would say I would go with the Master Collection card. The Master Collection card does create only 4 power gems, but you can add, say, the jailers on board. You could add, let's go to my Earth deck. So this is my combination that I'm going to be running tomorrow. So say I had the current deck, I would run this one, and I would sacrifice Flourishing Fairies. This one is a toss-up because this one actually cleanses 1 enemy debuff and 1 enemy's buff. So this is a really good card to have on board. I mean, Flourishing Fairies does upgrade 6 power gem to 1 level higher, and it does create power gems as well, and it increases your attack, but I could sacrifice that. This one, however, gives me a massive amount of attack increase, so I wouldn't sacrifice this one. So I would say Flourishing Fairies and probably Reaping Royalty, I would replace them with the Master Collection card and the Ultimate Form, and that way I could boost the attack of all my cards using the Jailers and Protectors of Prosperity. And if I boost my attack, I create quite a number of power gems using these cards. Hard One Gorilla would be the one that would give me a 5-time damage with its nuke. Then the Ultimate Form and the Master Collection card would give me nuke damage. So how would I play that? I would activate on turn 0. I would activate Protectors of Prosperity, Hard One Gorillas, and the Jailers. Okay, those would give me my power gems, plus the power gems created passively by my relics and my um ultimate form, because the Master Collection card does produce 4 power gems passively as well. So those would be 8 power gems I'm getting. You could not activate the battle skill then because it's turn 0, so you haven't stored any damage. You match your gems, do your massive damage, you get that 5-time nuke at the end from R1 Gorillas, then you activate the battle skill of your Master Collection and your ultimate form, giving you an extra nuke. So one would give you double the amount of damage hit dealt, and so the next one would give you the same amount, which is a Master Collection card. Say your Master Collection card dealt 1 quadrillion and your ultimate form dealt 1.5 quadrillion. Together they'll both give you over 5 quadrillion damage with their nuke. Now if you can get hard-won gorillas to actually deal 1 quadrillion, it will give you a 5 quadrillion nuke at the end. So personally, in a quick battle, I think Odd-One Gorillas is probably a better card to use. In a long drawn out battle, I think the current Ultimate Form Master Collection would be better, because then you could nuke every 3 turns. Because every 3 turns you might not deal the same amount of damage, high amount of damage with Odd-One Gorillas, but with the current ultimate form you would copy the largest attack. So it's kind of a toss up between the two of them, but I would go for Odd-One Gorillas in a short fight. So if it's boost all your cards, match all your gems, then do a massive attack, Odd-One Gorillas will win hands down. So that is my preference. I prefer Odd-One Gorillas over the current ultimate form. Now going forward, the current ultimate form probably would be nice in, say, a GVG battle. If you don't like a massive attack on the first attack, then if you've got the ultimate form alongside 2 Master Collection cards, then you could basically just go through the rest of the battle nuking all the rest of the cards out. That's if you generate a massive amount of damage on turn 0 during that GVG battle. However, you probably won't have enough space on your deck to put cards there that's gonna create massive amount of power gems for you. So I would say, is it a brilliant utility card? I would say no. Is it a brilliant card for the current event? It might work during the event if you can create the right combination. But I think a non-event deck is going to any non-event deck that's well put together will outperform the current event deck. I don't think the current event deck is really brilliant. I think it's okay. I think it can generate a number of power gems, but not as much power gems as it would need to actually give you a massive bang for your buck. Even using the Jailers and Protectors of Prosperity, I think it's gonna fall short, primarily because it's got the 3-turn cooldown. If it was a 1-turn cooldown, I would say hands down it's far better than Odd-One Gorillas, but because it's got a 3-turn cooldown, where Odd-One Gorillas got a 2-turn cooldown, I think Odd-One Gorillas is much better, much better. But that's just my opinion. We'll see tomorrow when the event starts. So Odd-One Gorilla needs no introduction. It's probably one of the best utility cards in the game. It's absolutely brilliant. Love the nuke damage on that card, and I really hate nuke cards. But Odd-One Gorillas and Freedom Fighters, I really love, hands down. Protectors of Prosperity. Now, Protectors of Prosperity is a really nice card to have. Really good utility card. It increases Earth Slayer attack by 200% for 2 turns. It creates 5 Earth Power Gem 6s. Whenever ambushing, it increases Slayer attack by 2000%. That is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant for me. It's got ambushing, it's got a revive, it's got a passive. Once per turn, when an attack or damage buff activates, it heals for 2500% of your recovery. This one dispels armor, not gonna be very useful, but hardborn gorillas I think it's every 4 turns actually dispels 1 buff from the enemy, so that would be good for dodge. This one, Flourishing Fairies, it upgrades 6 Earth Power Gem to 1 level higher, then it creates 4 Earth Power Gem freeze, then increase Arcane Killer's attack for 1 turn by 30% per Power Gem skill triggered. 5 Power Gem skill we've got on board, so 5 freeze is 15, so we get 150% attack increase, which goes on top of the 2000% that can be created by this one. So you got a bit extra, every little helps. So at the start of each turn it creates 1 Earth Power Gem 1 plus 1 more per 100 Arcane Killer intensity. The second passive, whenever a Power Gem skill is triggered, it heals for 200% of your recovery, so you've got a bit of heal there as well. Reaping Royalty. Now Reaping Royalty is really good card, as I said, to have on board, primarily because you want to totally get rid of Slumber, and you want to get rid of Chaos. So this one will cleanse 1 enemy debuff from each Slayer on your team, and it will dispel 1 enemy buff, which is really, really good. So that's dodge, and that's Chaos, and that's Slumber gotten rid of. And when you dispel that, then the passive kicks in. Once per turn, whenever an enemy buff or debuff is successfully removed or prevented, it will create 6 Earth Power Gem 5s and increase self-attack by 80% for 3 turns. This activates with counter skill as well. So it doesn't matter if it's an active skill, which is a battle skill that cleanses, as long as you prevent or dispel, it will create those 6 Earth Power Gem 5s. The next passive creates 4 Earth Power Gem 4s at the start of each turn. So you've got passive production of Power Gems as well. Really nice card. Really good utility card. Now, the Jailers needs no introduction. It's gonna be a very useful card this week because the deck is an Arcane Killer deck. It's an Arcane Killer event, so you will need Arcane Killer boost. Consecrated Wizardess is another card. It's of the same deck as the Jailers. It does the same thing as the Jailers. However, I do like the Jailers better. Now, the Jailers will increase enemy turn count by 1. It creates 5 Earth Power Gem freeze plus 1 more per 100 Arcane Killer intensity. So Arcane Killer intensity is really important to this deck as well to create more Power Gems. So it's not bad. The only downfall to this particular card is the 6 turn cooldown. So in a Slayer event, you're only gonna get 1 activation of its skill. So use it wisely. The first passive, Optimism. Whenever hero delays the enemy turn count, it increases Arcane Killer attack by 1200% for 1 turn. This can be stacked multiple times. So if you're using Consecrated Wizardess alongside the Jailers, it will stack. However, Consecrated Wizardess, if you had it to this combination, will take away from total damage of the deck because it doesn't create as much Power Gems as I would like. However, the boost is really good. Next passive is once per battle, instead of dying, you survive and increase enemy turn count by 1. That can be something that is useful, especially in a long fight, so you can double up on the amount of attack boost that you get if you die, and then as soon as you revive, you activate his skill and all other skill, it will increase the amount of damage that you're able to deal. So it's not a bad card, really useful card. You can combine this card with, say, the likes of let's find it. I think it's a Noble. Let's find it. Should be somewhere around here. Defiant Duet. Where is Defiant Duet? There is Defiant Duet. Now this card is a nice one to use alongside the Jailers. If you're using it and you've never used it before, you have to activate Hit's battle skill before the Jailers because it will benefit from the Jailers battle skill. What it does, it creates 4 Earth Power Gem 4s and 3 Earth Power Gem 2s, and it adds something called a Swarm buff. for 1 turn. Now what the Swarm buff does, whenever a card delays the enemy turn count, this creates extra power gems. So Swarm buff creates 2 Earth power gem 4s each time a skill that increases the enemy turn count is used. This one has got a 5 turn cooldown. However, now you've only got this card and the Jailers on board if you use the current combination. So you will get 2 turn delay, so you'll only create an extra 4 power gem 4s, which is not a lot. This is a commander card as well, so it won't be one of your main damage dealers. However, it will cause the Jailers to double up on its attack increase. It will give you a whopping 2,400 if you add this card on board. So if you haven't got anything else, you could have this one on board and get an extra 4 power gem 4s plus an extra 1,200% attack increase. So it's something that can be used. You can try it out, because I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see how it works, and if it's really good, I'll continue to use it. If not, but I will play around with a lot of these cards that I've got in my collection. Really like that card. It took me a long time before I got that card, Defiant Duet. Yeah, it took me a long time before I actually got that card, but I like it. It's really nice, especially with the Jailers. It's really good. But this is the combination that I'm going to run. I think it's going to be a powerful combination. Extremely powerful. No, it's not going to be OP, but I think it's going to be quite powerful enough to actually compete within the event. And it's a non-event deck. So I'm happy with it. I've got my Dispel, I've got my gem production, I've got my boost, because the current meta is about creating lots of power gems, crushing them, and boosting your attack or damage. That's the current meta. I've got my boost, got my power gem productions, I've got my damage dealer, and I've got 2 Arcane Killer cards on board. So this will give me a boost. This will give me 900%. So it's giving me 900% damage boost with its Arcane Killer 3, and my hard one gorilla is 4, so this will give me 1,000. So that's 1,900% damage boost coming from those 2 cards together. So when it comes to relic, I'm running my old Arcane relic. So this is a Slayer relic, and this is a Commander relic. Probably I will be lucky tomorrow, because I'm going to try out the 500 gem vault and see what I can get. I'm only going to try it out once. Might not try it either, because as I said, if you save your gems, because I've got 1,600 gems, I'm going to collect some from the event, so I'll probably end up with 2,000 gems. If you go in the Retro Vault tomorrow, you'll get 6 coins, and Retro Vault on Friday 6 additional coins, so that's 12 extra coins. So that's how I'm playing it. I'm collecting my coins, and if it's not a good deck at the end of the season, then I decide which deck throughout the season is the best one, and I'll craft that one. That's how I'm playing it as a free-to-play player. Quite good. It's worked quite nice for the last 2 seasons, so this season will be no different. That's all I've got for you today. Tomorrow I will show you this deck in action, and we'll play around with the deck a bit and see if we can find anything within my collection that will actually make this deck a bit better. But if you've got any suggestion, please leave it in the comments section below. Thanks to my 2 subscribers last week that reminded me that the defraggers is unstoppable, so they would not be affected by Toxin. I made that mistake to say yeah, Toxin would affect their skill, but Toxin wouldn't affect their skill because they're unstoppable. So thanks to both those subscribers for correcting me. Really appreciate it. Continue to doing it. If I say something wrong about a card, please correct me, because some of the time I do get things wrong, really wrong. Thanks for your suggestion as well. There was one other subscriber, I think it was during the water event, that told me about a dragoon that you could actually craft to become like, I can't remember what the card is called now, but that one was really interesting because I didn't actually know that. So that was really good information. So thank you for that as well. Thank all of you guys for your encouragement. Really, really appreciate you guys a lot. You're the reason why I continue to play this game and even do videos. So really, really thank you. And one of the subscribers as well, she is a YouTuber. She does YouTube on Legendary Game of Heroes. It's in a different language. It's not in English. I think it's Polish. It's a European language. I'm not really sure which language it is, because I only speak not really English, bad English. My natural tongue isn't really English. Big shout out to all my subscribers for your comments, for your encouragement. Really appreciate it. You're the people why I still do these videos, and you're the people why I still play the game anyway, because some of the time I really become quite discontented with the game, but you guys really encourage me, so thanks a lot. Big shout out to all of you out there. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, like the video. Until next time, this is Octane saying peace and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.